Hi everybody, good afternoon. I'm doing Signet Monitor, Enumerate, running internal service, explore the empty web application, pivot through the system, and calculate the route. This is part of a TryHackMe new path for what's it called, Junior. So we have the IP as always. Let's start scanning. Let me mute this. Rest scan. Yeah, I think it's straight the IP. I think or port. Let me see. I would like to use Pineapple, so I don't do that. Keep typing Python or things like that. So let's try this one. Uh, what I'm doing now? Port 5050. Okay, that's strange port. Uh, okay, let's start see what exactly we have in a network side. Let me do a persist log, disable cache. Let's see what I'm having here in this network. So let's refresh. Nothing really special running in this one. It's a network operation center, wherever. Doesn't give you really anything on it. It's just a plain HTML text. View page source. It's an HTML. I don't see any JS. Unauthorized access, so it doesn't tell you what exactly. So you go to your next move for this one. So you go to um, direct enumeration. So you go to go past direct minus u. We know port 5050 HTTP 5050 minus world user share word list um, directory to medium. Let's I'm not sure if it's a PHP, but let's try PHP GS TXT bug ziplet because TryHackMe they like PHP. So basically now it doesn't look anything. Even network doesn't call anything. It's just calling straight an HTML file. The console, nothing. The debugger, nothing. We don't have any cookies or anything. So let's stuck there. Let's wait for that because the entrance is from that. Now you find it. That's what we need. The internal one. So if you go to internal and let's see what I'm doing there. Internal we got now interesting. We have a login page. You can see get HTML. It said operator ID. If you type anything, say authentication and then invalid username or password. Again, it posts a request to internal request just a normal username and password and response. Of course, we got that. So nothing special. So the first thing you can do is the SQL injection, and this one you can just do the classic. Just if you do the classic or 1 equal 1 and you just do the classic, it works. So this very simple SQL injection, so it doesn't need fancy things about it. The classic work. And then we have an audit log, and you can see that the one that we logged in, interesting. And then you have this usage, John Merton and health check and NetOps. We log in NetOps. I'm not sure if we, because even if you try that one, or 1 equal 1, and let's kill the comment, and then any password, you still log in NetOps, so it's not really, I thought this one, maybe it's, any case, doesn't matter. So we have a log there, we have the services, we're looking for a form. That's what we don't have profile, but interesting, there's nothing to explore there. But interesting on this point, host. And if you did, this is a classic CTF ping-in host name or IP. Okay, you can see usage, send to IC, accept RFC or prop target, render, traffic, SMP. This is like is almost CTF created, they don't have new ideas. They keep just recycling the same things. So if you do localhost, for example, it show you it ping, of course. As an attacker, the question, can I do command injection here? So you do the classic, for example. If you do that, then you can see invalid because now it's filtering. So what else we can do? What else classic you can do? You can do what is that? And ID still blocked. You do the or still blocked. If you do that one, you still blocked. You try that one, you still blocked. You try, because assume is a shell, so you try to be fancy a little bit. Still doesn't, even if you cut that one out, it still doesn't want you to go through them. Then your next move for these things is the other trick, the new line trick. And then ping ID, temporary failure, and name resolution. So we've been interesting. We passed in something, but it didn't interpret ID as we wanted. So it's like, why? Why is not interpreting that ID? No, it said so. It's already, you see a dollar exactly is a freaking out. So if I do localhost, you would pick up now again ping and temporary failure name resolution. So you have a problem with this one. So that ends, so we can use the old trick in the book, for example, because the break line you can do 0 A. Again, temporary failure, he doesn't see that, so ping ID temporary failure in name resolution. It's like we are not encoding, so now we go to our browser, because here now we have a problem with encoders or something. So we go to where exactly we posting now. You see, it's not going to same line. It's just what is these things? Remember when we did 0A? Let me zoom this one a little bit. And try to make an ID there. Now we got it. So if you send it from here, so this one work here when you put it there, but it doesn't work in the browser. Why? Interesting. So now it works for when you send it like that. So if this one works, does the other one work too? If I do the N one, that doesn't work. So the 0A work. Interesting. So we got the ID. So now we can do commandization from the browser itself. We use BEP. I don't like to use BEP only if I need to use it. So we can, what else we can do? Because we have an ID, we can do anything. Let's see if we can do all the things, or we have, is there a restriction, for example, to this? Um, okay, we got all the passwords, so we have a sysadmin user, so now it's time to have a shell. So we can go to our shell resolve. Where is the shell? Reverse shell. Let me get the one I usually use, this one, and then I can do my box for the attack box is 10.114.80.159. Let me do that. I'm doing something different. 444. Where's my shell? Pineapple shell. I use this one from now on. I don't like to keep a copy paste Python every time. This one is nice, so you can use the classic. This one, install it directly. I use this one. Reverse shell that auto do things for you. You don't need to flip too much about it. So if I want to install it in this machine, I can just, oops. And you can do menu, it's listening in for 4444. So our next move is, okay, let's try the shell. I'm not sure which one did work for me. Let's try this one. So if that one worked, can this one work now? Invalid host name or IP address. So now this fancy things is too long or too, let's go to the smaller one. End of file express. So somehow, I'm not sure if it's encoding or something why it doesn't work, because I think we complain of course with this one. Can't access TTY job control turned off. Huh, interesting. Why the room have a TTY problematic? Let's do, I think it's related to bash. We can change to binary bash. Uh, let's escape the shell. This character usually in the shell, they complain about it. And now he said no job control of this shell. We didn't get the shell. Why it said can't set terminal process group inappropriate device no job control on this shell exit. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Is the IP correct? 10.114.80.159.4. Can't set terminal process group inappropriate device no job control in the shell. Which one did I use? Why the bash didn't work? What else we have? NC, usually this one, who is this one? NC. Let's see if NC work. We can do we go the classic. There's too much error now. Proxy, local ping statistics. Did we got the shell first before we jump? We still didn't get shell. Interesting. Look all this error. Destination port. use even NC said the let's do the classic. Let's when you have something like that, it must be one should work. I don't know which one. The NC doesn't work. The which one should use? Usually this one usually work perfectly, but now it said the say if a binary bash doesn't work, can we use the binary sh? Um, let's skip that one. I think we're not like can't access to. Let's do the classic. Let's go. I think it's complaining about. Let's do vim shell.sh. Now let's take. Doesn't matter. Now we can take whatever we want. Let's get the bash beta. Okay, and we can do Python. Let's call it Python 3 minus m http.server. Now we can just come here and let's do our wget http. Let's download it to the machine because it should work that way. So 8000 shell.sh. Let's see if this one works. If it does work, we can see it here. We can see we called it. Now we can just run it. So now I can just do binary bash shell.sh. Now it should work in theory. You can see now it's saving. It tell you we saved the shell. Now let's call it now. Now it's a freezing. It means we got it. Now we got the shell. Session 1. And now we got ID, mi, grew, listness ali, and you can see it is already given because we have that SQLite. Is there SQLite here? No. So we can use this one, it's DB, but here it all the secret things. If you do secret, we have a username and password there, so we can, because remember we have ls -la home, we can see that the system, so su sysadmin, here's the strange part what happened. You don't get a password, set your authentication. Here's what, that's the part I don't really understand. We can try something else here because I'm not confusing for some reason. So copy shell to shell. I want to test theory why that doesn't work. Let me change the port. Is this one 5 and C minus LVMP double for 5. Let's do that. And we can come back here. Control Z. Let's get shell 2. Okay, shell 2 is done. Now let's see if we got interesting. Why is not getting the shell in 2? Enable to resolve hot address shell 2. Oh, sorry, not wget. Okay, so we cut secret.config. So if I do su there without, maybe that pineapple is a problem, but I don't know. Let's see what's going on. What I'm doing. Su sysadmin. It still says authentication failed for whatever reason. Because we have them, we can try the other option is directly SSH to the machine. I try to figure out what the issue. I can't figure out what exactly the problem here. But if you do SSH there and look what's the IP, let me take that IP quickly. If you take that password now, and then let's see if this one that suddenly does work. I don't know, some security they messed up in the box or something, because even both of them doesn't want to accept my password. So now if I do that, you can see a user flag is there, head minus c 5 user.txt, and of course you see that backup file, and of course you see readme cat readme, and it mean keep us credential database. So basically we need to do that, so we can do what we can copy it, because we have an SSH, we can just copy the whole thing, so that's fine. Is copy sys, what's his name, sysadmin at that IP. Home sysadmin backups. What's the name of that file? Okay, you can copy it straight there. The password for that thing is that one. No, the problem we'll have is because John in this box is in opt John, and we have John keep us to John. The problem when you apply keep us John, say hash .txt in this attack box, it tell you file version 4000 is currently not supported. Some old version, I think this one is a bit old. Now if I try to do it in my computer, for example, I say John the Reaper and do hash, because mine is Ubuntu, I use snap, so the name is John the Reaper, and my computer is new, so it worked fine. My hash.txt, you can see infrastructure, so I can crack it basically with John the Reaper and give it a word list and do so. In this attack box doesn't work. Sorry guys, if you have a new computer, try it in your own computer. And then of course when you, it doesn't take long to, I think is a spring, the password is a spring, and of course you go to your where did we save it? Why is not opening? It's in the root. Password is spring. Spring. Yeah, because this one is old, so if I use my computer, spring, root user password. So this one is easy. If you do edit entry or copy password, then you get it. So you can do that in your computer, and you get your root password. This is a root password. You can SSH or SU RTP. So you go to root password. When we have the root password, you can then just come here and you either SU root or just go SSH root root at the password that I said. Yeah, that's your password. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, so the room is the trick of the room is basically is this one, to know that you have a drop down line. That's it. Thank you everybody and have a good day.